Hello, my name is Kerryath, and today we are going to talk about... I was going to say admitting defeat, but that sounds very defeatist, and I have to admit, as of right now, I've got no idea what I'm going to call this video at all. The temptation to clickbait it and be like, the abandonment of my Emperor's Children, the Emperor's Children project is dead, and things like that, is kind of high, but I'm not going to do that because it's not true. So why would you? I guess this video is mostly about the lesson that I have been taught by my Emperor's Children, my passion project for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Dreadnoughts are fun. I mean, you know they're fun because there's a shitload of them up there. We're approaching 20 Dreadnoughts now, which is ludicrous and stupid, and why would you do that? 7 of them are Redemptors. That's more Redemptors than anyone should reasonably own by a factor of about 5, I reckon, but there you go. The Dreadnoughts are fun. The Dreadnoughts are silly. The Dreadnoughts exist primarily to one-up each other until we end up with I don't know what. I mean, I have no idea how that project is going to end. Probably when there's an entire bookshelf full of them and my wife tells me that if I buy another one, she's leaving and taking the kids. That's mostly how that's going to go. But whilst the Dreadnought army is fun and I am enjoying it and I'm still getting Dreadnoughts, it's not as much of a passion project as the Emperor's Children, which, I mean, this video I'm making because someone asked specifically on the Dreadnought update video yesterday, what has happened to that project? Why don't you talk about it? What is going on? And, I mean, I guess the truth is that I haven't talked about it much because there hasn't been a lot to talk about. Because I've done that thing that happens to, I think, every hobbyist at some point. I know it's happened to me a couple of times, and in the past I've dealt with it by walking away, or selling said army, or abandoning said project. But the Emperor's Children I didn't want to do that to. I found myself running out of steam severely, but only in one specific area. See, I'm still enjoying kit bashing and converting stuff for my Emperor's Children army. It's still enjoyable, I still love doing it, I still sit there and go through Games Workshop and Forge World and Age of Sigmar and pick out parts and hunt for stuff on eBay and go to Bitsbox and stuff and find the things that I want to make the army that I have in my head for the Emperor's Children. I'm still enjoying it. I mean, hell, I'm working on a couple of Dreadnoughts at the moment, Sonic Dreadnoughts, obviously. I won't show you them because they're blue tacked together like a 1-year-old has done it, and it looks god-awful, but when they're done, you'll see them. I've also got some Chaos Space Marines on the way. I've also got some Noise Marines on the way. There's going to be a bit of fun kit bashing and converting going on there. I'm still enjoying it, but I'm enjoying one specific part of it, and that is the building and converting part of it. The issue that I've had lies in one specific arena, and that is the arena of paint. See, for me, there's 3 steps to a project. There's the build, then there's the paint, and then there's the and it's done. What I would love to do is go from step 1 to step 3 without spending any time in step 2, because for whatever reason, the painting side of this Emperor's Children force has been absolutely soul-destroying. There are some models you pick up and you don't want to put down. You just want to keep painting. You enter what I kind of have referred to before and will for as long as it works as like the therapeutic zone. I mean, painting can genuinely be therapy in some ways. I find that if I'm enjoying painting a model, everything around me just settles and fades into just the softest background noise. I have what a lot of people describe as like a noisy brain. It's very easy to overthink. It's very easy to become overly negative, to kind of be bombarded with, I would say, actual, toxic, harmful thoughts. It's something that happens quite a lot to me. It's just part of, depression and anxiety and all of that mess, and you get used to it, but getting used to it doesn't make it any less of a pain in the backside. So things like painting, things like building, they are vital parts of what I use to keep myself grounded and keep that stuff at bay. It provides that space, that kind of quiet zone away from all of that, where everything else fades away and you're just focused on the thing in front of you. And the thing that's been providing that most recently is the Lady of Arcana up there, who actually has some white on her, as you might be able to see. I've been doing a lot of work on her, and she's been, I reckon I'm close to like 10 or 15 hours into painting that model, mostly because I just keep experimenting and going back and trying different things. The technique that I've been using that, is part of, comes with the Series D brushes from Artis Opus. It's very forgiving, and you can go kind of back over stuff and mess with things as much as you like, which is what I've been doing. That's been very much my therapy zone. Larger models that I can do lots of blending and dry brushing on. There's another demony one behind there as well, but he's hidden behind the Chapter Master. The opposite of that are models where you pick them up and you immediately wonder why the hell you're even bothering, because you don't want to paint them. You don't want to paint them, you don't think they look good, you've tried a million things, nothing works, the paint scheme's terrible. Oh no, wait, actually no, the colours are fine, it's the way I'm applying them. Oh, maybe if I try and switch it up so that colour is maybe a bit darker, a bit lighter. Oh no, I preferred the original, although the placement of it is still shit. So if I take that and apply it to my Emperor's Children, and that is where the stumbling block has arisen. Painting that army is the opposite of relaxing for me. Now, I don't know whether it's something that I've done to myself. It's incredibly likely that it is. I am very good at creating like negative outlooks on certain things. Things like painting being one of them. Now, with the Dreadnought army, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. That army, I picked a very easy scheme to do that was very quick and was very eye-catching, and that's all I wanted out of it. That's the whole thing. Admittedly, having done the Chapter Master and actually put a lot of time and effort into it, I'm going to be repainting the entire Dread mob to match, but that's just a natural evolution of it. With the Emperor's Children stuff, I think I had a fairly clear idea as to what I wanted, and I didn't match that on the first go. And then I didn't match it on the second go. And then I started to wonder whether what I wanted was even possible. And then I saw that other people had done what I wanted to do, and surely, if they can do it, I can do it. So if I try and match what they've done, except it didn't come out quite right, everything just led towards a slow decline of enjoyment, and a slow decline of satisfaction, and a slow decline of just flat out having fun with it. I mean, that is one of the most important things about this hobby. For me, anyway. If you're not having fun, there's no point. You're spending, sometimes, pretty damn large amounts of money on this stuff. This is not a cheap hobby to be in by any stretch of the imagination. If you're going to spend that much and you're going to put that much time into it, you need to enjoy it. It being a slog, it being just a chore, a task, something that you pick up and immediately think, oh, I don't want to do this, but I need to, otherwise it's not going to get done. That's not good. For me, anyway. I know there are those out there who can do it, who can just push past that, just go, yeah, but you'll like the finished result, so crack on and off you go. In some projects, that is doable, and I've done that before with some stuff. But for whatever reason, this force, I can't do that with. I can't work out why either. I don't know where it changed. I don't know where it shifted. I don't know where the enjoyment slipped away, but it did. It very much vanished from that aspect of this project. And so we reached the point where I was still building, and I still am building, like I'm still adding stuff to this force. There's quite a bit of stuff that needs to be painted, but I just didn't want to paint any of it. Because as soon as I picked it up, I just looked at it and went, yeah, but I fucked that one up, so I'm probably going to mess this up too, and I don't even know if I'm happy with the result I got off that first one anyway. And there's a shed load more of this that needs to be done before it's even remotely finished. And I'm still building units, so by the time I've painted these, there's going to be even more to paint, and I didn't enjoy it to start with, so what am I doing? Now, when that's happened before, and it has happened before, I think every hobbyist has had that happen with something at some point along the line, the temptation is to walk away. And that's what I've done before. I've abandoned projects completely. I've just got rid of stuff. I've sold models that I've never used. I've just kind of, I sat there and gone, this is what I'd like to do. And then 6 months later gone, I just don't actually want to do this. Okay, well, here you go. Let's ship that off. Let's get rid of that, and let's start something different. Let's really knuckle down and latch onto something that I know I'm gonna want to do a year down the line. I thought that was this project, and in a way it kind of is, because the first aspect of it is still just as much fun as it was when I first started. The converting and kit bashing, I'm still loving. I can't get enough of that side of things. But the painting is an absolute goddamn nightmare that just saps enjoyment out of doing it. Instead of sitting there and going, yeah, it's time to get in that zone, that nice relaxed zone. Instead it was, okay, it's time to hate the next half an hour until I give up and go and do something else. I mean, it didn't just put me off painting the Emperor's Children, it put me off painting other stuff. If I tried to paint a Terminator, I would then go, well, alright, you're not enjoying this, so why don't you try painting something else? I would just not be in the mood to paint anything else after that. So, what do? Well, to be honest, I got lucky. I'm lucky in that someone offered to paint my Emperor's Children force for me. As a commission, obviously, not free. Well, people have offered to do it for free, but I would not take that offer because that's not fair. If you're gonna put time and talent into something, you deserve something for that. If you have the ability to do that kind of thing, unless it is like a gift of kind, then you should be being paid for it. And I'm lucky enough that by reducing the budget of some stuff, well, other models for the most part, I can have the Emperor's Children army painted. It's going to take a while. It's going to take quite a while, in fact, because I can't just have it all done in one chunk. I can't afford that. But the Chosen for my Emperor's Children are not with me now. They have been shipped off to Chris, who is going to paint them, and I'm very lucky in that I have that opportunity, that is something I can do. So it's something that I never thought I would do. I've always viewed commission painting as something of fair enough if you want to have that done, but I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to paint it myself. I want to be there for every stage, from the building to the painting to the display and play part. With my Emperor's Children, I realised a while ago, I don't care about the middle bit. I want the first bit and I want the last bit. I want to paint it. I want to build it, and then I want to play and display. I do not want to paint it at all. I fucking hate painting it. I don't know why I hate painting it, but I do, and I hate it to such an extent that it's making me dislike painting other models after I've painted Emperor's Children. To be honest, if it wasn't for that avenue, if it wasn't for that offer that Chris made, I most likely would have given up, or at least given up on that middle point. I'd still be building them, but they would just remain grey plastic and slightly less grey resin. They would never actually be finished. It wouldn't happen because I've got myself in a corner whereby I just don't enjoy that part of it. Because the crazy thing is that there's no reason to not enjoy it. And this is the part that's confused me, and the part that I'm putting down to just having a stupid brain. I've sunk so many hours into that Lady of Arcana up there. There's another demony thing behind her that I've put a ton of hours into. There's the Chapter Master, which I've put quite a lot of time into. There's an entire shelf of painted dreadnoughts. There's a bunch of D&D stuff back there, which I've been painting as well. It's not like I haven't been painting. I've been painting a lot of stuff. None of it is Emperor's Children, though, because I couldn't face doing it. So, yeah, I mean, it nearly stalled and it nearly died, but it hasn't, because I kind of recognised that I guess the army has taught me a lesson, to be fair. The Emperor's Children army has definitely taught me a lesson, which is that if it's not fun, there's no point. If you're not enjoying it, then, for me at least, why should I do it? It's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be fulfilling. If you're not finding it fun, if you're not finding it enjoyable, and you're not being fulfilled by it, for me, there's no point. There are other things that I could do to get those things, and so why smash your head against the wall? Why just keep kind of battering your way to it? Now, another option would be to take a year off the project, to work on something else simultaneously, but I have been doing that in the form of the Dreadnoughts, so I don't think that option obviously didn't work, because I kind of did the thing of, alright, if I paint this one guy, then I'll be able to paint half a Dreadnought. except it just meant that I never painted half a Dreadnought because I never painted the one guy, because that one guy was pissing me off. So I guess it's highlighted a couple of changes in attitude for me. Firstly, that I don't ever want the hobby to be a slog. That's not something that I'm after anymore. Perhaps, a few years ago, perhaps before I had children, I'd be happy to just bash my way through it. But not now. I mean, free time is precious as anything. Why waste it on something that I'm not enjoying? And the other thing is that thing of commission painting, where it's like, before I just didn't think it would ever be something that interested me. But now, without it, the Emperor's Children would have just become a nothing project. I would have sold them off, or given them away, one or the other. I did think about that. I did think about that briefly. Doing a competition, giving away the Emperor's Children force to someone who, like a follower of the channel. Just as a nice thing to do, but I still wanted the finished product. I just didn't want to do the painting part of it. So yeah, I guess that's the only takeaway I got from the experience of kind of ending up disliking it, the painting side of things. Sometimes it's just not worth it to push through. Sometimes if you want to just build, you should just build. If you want to have them painted by someone else, maybe just ignoring that whole thing of pride and being like, yeah, well, I want to be the person who painted all of my stuff. It's a fine sentiment for me. It was a fine sentiment until it no longer applied. It was one of those things where I was very, very vehement about and very kind of like, yeah, I paint all of my stuff. I want to paint all of my stuff. Of course, if you get to the point where you don't want to paint your stuff, what's the point? You're just forcing yourself into doing something you don't like. As I say, though, the weird thing is, I'm still painting plenty of other stuff. I'm going to start repainting that knight over that one. I'm going to start repainting that knight over Christmas. I've still got a bunch of Dreadnoughts to paint. I'm going to repaint the entire Dreadmob. I've got a bunch of other stuff to do as well. Just not Emperor's Children. But luckily, the project isn't dead. The project is continuing, and it's just in someone else's hands for the colour. The colorization process has been handed off to someone infinitely more capable and someone who will enjoy it more than I did, which is, not a bad arrangement to have, to be totally honest. And as I say, I'm very lucky. I can take the cost of the commission out of the budget for models that I have and do it that way. It does mean fewer models, but it means that ones I've worked on for a long time and have been quite proud of will actually get to see action and actually be finished, which, as I say, I'm really, really looking forward to. So yeah, very long, very rambly that, but I guess that's just where I am with that project currently. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's progressing quicker now. Somehow. Now that I'm not working on it as much, it's progressing faster than it was, which is a weird thing to say, but there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click all the things, the Patreon video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's a affiliate link in the description for Element Games, where if you go there and buy something, I get something for sending you that way. My voice is going again. And yeah, 10% of anything you spend through that link will go to charity at the end of the month as well. I've already donated for this month. I preemptively donated to a local women's shelter because getting the donations before Christmas can make quite a big difference. So I guesstimated how much the link might get this month. If we get more than what I guesstimated, then I'll just make a second donation at the beginning of January. Yeah, but that's where it's going this month. So yeah, you can do that if you like. It's entirely up to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo.